Welcome to Storytime with Tina Glasneck. I'm your host, Tina Glasneck, and today we're reading Carnival Games. The sea terrified me. But tonight, my fear disappeared enough for me to come to the beach, where the town celebrated the wonders of the annual carnival. The bright lights lit up the otherwise darkness as the rides jingled. Joyous laughter drifted on the breeze coming off of the Atlantic Ocean. People packed the pier. Of course, it had to be the best of location, with its Ferris wheel overlooking the water. The aromatic sweetness of sugar wafted, and I meandered through the crowd, viewing the offerings from the many booths. My mouth watered. I wasn't after the kettle corn so much, but the finest funnel cake on the East Coast. Yum. After the strangeness at the aquarium where I worked, with one tank rupturing and all the noise that nobody else seemed to hear, tonight served as a distraction. I swear I heard the fish screaming even while working the cash register in the gift shop. But my boss told me I was too much of an empath and gave me the weekend off with her ticket to the fair. "Win a prize!" announced an eerie man who had to be 10 feet tall, wearing red glittery pants with suspenders. He stared down at me. Shaped like an ice cream cone spoon, an enormous head with a gangly shape and what appeared to be crushed peppermint sticks on his face? The crowd of people shuffled around us. "Come, dear, and win the prize the gods declare you need." His eyes held mine, and AC/DC's Hell's Bells played. He stretched out his hand, grazing my fingertips with his, only to turn my palm up as if to read it. "There is much coming your way, and you must prepare. I fear the sea shall call you." I snatched my hand away. Unlike most people that live down here on the beach, I couldn't swim. To be frank, I had an aversion to water, even baths. They made me itch, and afterwards scaly-like bumps would form. Ugh, nope. A quick 30-second shower was all I can handle. "Nay, dear, you need a tool to save you." He pulled a paltry device from his pocket and thrust it at me. To many, they may have thought it a small pizza cutter or something used in the BDSM scene. Since I'd been in the ER enough times about numbness, I recognized it as a sensation tester with its long handle and spiky wheel. The wheel was the size of a quarter, and instead of being smooth, it had jagged edges. "What the?" I glanced back, but Peppermint Man was gone. How did he disappear so quickly? I shoved the sensation tester, my prize, into my pants pocket. I'd hate to lose it. Finally finding the funnel cake booth and seeing the long line. I knew I had to wait, but next to it was the tilt-a-whirl, my favorite ride ever. On a platform with 10 cheerfully painted cars spinning, it practically begged me to get on it. The colorfully glowing lights and loud music pulled me to it. First, I tingled with excitement, but the closer I got to the ride's entrance, the more ominous sense of foreboding hit. For a moment, time slipped and I couldn't breathe. Dark, icy fingers yanked on me, and a small voice called my name. "The sea awaits you, Amalia!" That wasn't a lyric. I turned to see if the words came from someone I recognized, but behind me were no familiar faces. Instead, there was a lovey-dovey couple, his hands wrapped around her waist, and she held on to an almost life-size teddy bear. Must have been bait night. Yep, weird things happen to me all the time. I touched my pocket. The device was still there. The metal soothed me somehow. My throat dry, my palms sweating, the ride operator removed the chain, and those of us in line dashed for it. Every car I attempted to enter was full, except for the one numbered 10. I climbed in, scooted my butt around until comfortable, and caught my breath. It's going to be fine, Amelia. It's going to be fine, Amelia. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine, I whispered. The more I repeated it, the more I'd believe it, right? Looks like you have it all to yourself. Again, it was the peppermint man, this time locking the bar tightly in place. Was he an apparition? He placed his gloved index finger to his crusty lips. Shh, he said, and before I can question it, the ride whirled to life. My heart fluttered, and around we spun once, twice, and then I heard a roaring screech. Thick, black smoke swirled around us. The ride rattled, shook, and sped up. Deafening screaming mixed with bright lights and spinning. My vision blurred, and I clenched on tightly to the iron bar. The music died down. It's coming from over there, I heard, and turned left and right to see the plumes rise around me. Metal scraped against metal until a loud chunk. Shut it off! Someone screamed. The ride moved faster, reaching the top of the platform. The first car broke free, crashing through the barrier, and went flying towards the sea. Then the second, then the third. I saw it happening, even in that fast blur. No. I yanked against the bar. Then it was my turn. My car sped up the hill, and like a cannonball fired, it too shot out into the night sky, breaking free, to only crash into the ocean with a large splash. Dread-filled, I panicked. Waves pulled me under into the darkness. Chaos reigned at the carnival above. Sounds of sirens, people crying and wailing. I opened my eyes in the salty brown water and yanked against the iron bar which held me trapped. That which was to keep me safe would be my death sentence. In that moment, I could hear a soft hum. My body fought for life, and the lights disappeared. I blinked. And in my jeans, I remembered the tool. But now it felt heavier. Pushing it with all my strength to the side in my pocket. It gave me just enough space, just enough for me to shimmy out of the ride's confines. I pushed upward, kicked, trying to propel myself to the surface. But the tool's weight pulled me further under. Fighting, I shoved my hand into my pocket to retrieve it. When the tool lit up around me, shining through my pants material, with the brown water illuminated, I saw something massive swimming towards me. A shark? My heart thrashed in tune with my burning lungs. I kicked, I pushed, struggled. But this was no fish. Instead, turquoise eyes glowed. The stuff of fantasy novels swam around me. The most beautiful water dragon. He was as massive as a school bus, with iridescent scales that shimmered. Please don't eat me. Please don't eat me. Please don't eat me. I mentally prayed. With one quick move, he dove, only to gather me to him with his enormous fins. He maneuvered so until he placed me on his snout. Fear not, he spoke to my mind. I mean you no harm. His voice lulled me, almost like a siren song. Awaken, daughter of destiny. You cannot run from the golden hands of fate. Breathe. No longer able to hold my breath, I gave in to the water. For the sword has chosen you, new lady of the lake. Your mother, Queen Ayana, summons your return. My sword? I must be dead. In saying sword, I reached into my pocket, the only thing of metal I had with me. And finally, as if strong enough, I could pull the tool out. Only now, no longer was it the small sensation tester. In the water, and with my touch, it had morphed into a magical blade. Looking from him back to the sword in my hand, there was another part of that question I had to ask. My mom? I knew nothing about my birth family. After spending the last 18 years in foster care, this was news to me that I had any sort of living relative. All I'd grown up with was a medallion around my neck with my name carved on it. Over the years, many had tried to steal it, but were always unsuccessful. I hung there on his snout, and as if sensing my distress, he raced deeper in the water, and the sword grew immensely brighter. Your time has come, and the blessed blade returns, which shall lead you home. A portal quickly formed before us, with swirling waters of emerald green. The water dragon leapt through. Caught in the current, and as if on fast forward, we sped deeper into the sea, until shockingly an underwater city emerged. Colorful lights with purple, orange, and silvery orbs highlighted ancient structures made of white stone. A coral multicolored reef wrapped around it. He swam ever deeper, eventually coming to stop at a golden gate. The gate slid open, and in he swam into what looked just like the aquarium tank that had exploded only a few days ago. He gently led me over to a rock and turned as if to leave. Princess, until next time. But what about all those people from the ride? I asked. He ignored me. He quickly exited out the chamber that we'd entered. The water drained, and again I lost my breath. A hatch opened, and I saw a face that looked like mine. Just older, wiser, and there on her head rested a crown. Welcome home, Amalia, Princess of Atlantis. Thank you for reading. This has been Carnival Games. Amalia makes appearance in Twice as High, and by then she's gotten to know herself and all of her world a lot more. Twice as High is part of the Order of the Dragon series. Until next time, I'm Tina Glasneck, and this has been Storytime.